So much is said about leadership, but what is leadership anyway? Well, for me, leadership is about taking responsibility. It's about self-directed action, and it's about participation in the creation of growth. And in this digital age, so much can be achieved with technology, but it's the leadership that's the people skill that makes a team go on a journey that really makes business fly. And this is why so many senior leaders say, we need more junior leaders coming up through the ranks. And that's why it's really important for your career progression. And you may say, I'm not a manager at the moment, and how am I ever going to get to learn these skills, practice these skills? How am I going to learn how to lead? Well, there is one place where you can start. You can start by leading yourself. So be clear about your career, your short-term goals and your medium-term goals. And if you don't know where you're going, how will you ever be able to get the right support around you to be able to achieve anything in your career? So that's the first step. It really is to get clear about your goals. And then once you've done that, have a look for the people who can support you on that. And this goes for anything that you try to achieve as a leader, because if you're not clear on the outcome, who's ever going to follow you? And another place you can look is on the ACCA Global website for the 7 quotients. Now, the 7 quotients are all the other skills that accountants can learn to become more rounded in what we do. And they include things like digital skills, they include things like creativity, but they also include emotional intelligence. And the really good thing with emotional intelligence is that it's about self-awareness, it's also about influence. And so have a look at all of the information that's available around emotional intelligence, and that'll give you a really good place to start when it comes to exploring your own leadership potential and your own leadership style, because everybody does it differently. No two people lead in the same way. And actually, the more of yourself you bring to leadership, the more likely it is to feel authentic, and the more likely it is that people will want to follow your example and to follow what you've asked of them. So emotional intelligence, it increases your self-awareness, and it makes it a lot easier to find and follow a leadership style. So the thing is, your career is 100% your responsibility. And I've taken on so many people over the years and had so many interviews where people have said, oh, well, my development in this company, it stopped at this time because, there was a ceasing in this particular program, and so I didn't go any further. And it's all these excuses. The thing that really impresses me about people is when they find a way forward despite anything like that comes along. You see, they lead themselves. They don't wait to be led. So that is a definite leadership thing that you can do today. You can lead yourself. So have a look at all those excuses and those barriers and find another way around it. Seek some other way and take responsibility, 100% responsibility for your career. Now, the British Army, they have a saying, and that is serve to lead. And out of the service to others, you may well be able to actually hone even more leadership skills. Because things like volunteering, for example, will give you a much broader range of experience. And quite often, there's a more relaxed approach, and it'll allow you to collaborate with other groups that maybe you've never worked with before. So even if you're currently a leader and you're thinking, well, would I benefit from volunteering? Well, you might, because this will be a different group in a different situation, and you will learn something from every group that you deal with. Now, I've volunteered for many years to help ACCA, and right at the start of my career, I was on a panel which helped with continual professional development for people in my region. And we used to have these meetings, and I had never really run a meeting or anything like that before. I'd never chaired anything. But I learnt so much by watching the chair and learning from how well she ran those meetings. And you will learn from everything that you do. Because remember, you can learn from good leadership, observing other people, but you can also learn from bad leadership as to seeing the impact and thinking, do you know what? If I was to be in that scenario, I would do it so differently. So be observant about all of those things. So as with any plan, you start with a list. I don't know about you, but that's what I do. I start with a list. And here I have a list for you, a little action plan. And the list is LIST. And the L is listen and learn. So learn to take a broader approach, not just the job that you're given. Take an interest in the broader industry that you work in and listen to all the opinions and listen to the behaviours around that, because it will give you that broader approach. And that will help you a lot with your promotion prospects, because you'll be able to talk about things that really matter to the people further up in the hierarchy in organisations. So listen and learn. The I is for initiative. So maybe if you're already in a group, think about something that you could do to benefit that group. And it might be online Zoom socials. It could be all sorts of different things. But have a think about how you could bring something that's going to make it a little bit easier for everybody else. And by showing that initiative, you're actually showing a bit of leadership. S is about step up. Now, when I mean step up, what I really mean is that you need to take a good look at everything that's going on around you and say, that is what I want. And you need to make that commitment to taking that step up. And you can say, oh, I want this and I want that, and those are dreams, but this is an actual commitment. And maybe you'll need some help with that step up. So get yourself a mentor. Get yourself someone who's going to hold you to account for that and make you really take that step up. And the T is for time, because we all think, do I have time for this? If you really want it, you'll make that time. But also you might think, is the timing right? I don't really have the right skills for this. Do I have this? Do I have that? But you can procrastinate forever. And the best time to take action really is now. And you might say, well, at the moment, I don't really have a job. Well, get curious about something. The ACCA Global website has lots and lots of information, and you can learn about lots of different topics. So if you're not sure where you want your career to go, get curious about something. Have a look at forensic accounting. Have a look at integrated reporting. Have a look at all those webinars. Download some podcasts. Get involved. Have an opinion. And that will help with your career as well, because it will broaden your outlook. And it may be that, you've been doing one thing for a while, but maybe you want to change direction a little bit. Or maybe it'll just come up in conversation here and there, and you think, but I know what that is now. I know what that means when people talk to me about it. Take responsibility for your growth. Now, you may say, am I ever really going to become a leader? And I will tell you this. From the moment that you signed up to be an ACCA student, you recognise the importance of holding a standard and of ethical behaviour. And that's the first step of any sort of leadership, is to recognise a standard. And you've already done that, so you've already taken the first step. But the next step, well, that's up to you.